good. This one I got notes. So this one I'm gonna be looking at feeling, okay? And I want to talk about the importance of feeling. All right. Now, cool. I actually got notes today. I already said that, innit? I got notes. So then, like, if I forget, then I can instantly open the book and then just remember. So that's good. So what we were talking about again? Let me remember. Oh, fuck. I'm not staging this as well. Like I said, this is that my brain is so useless. It's so useless. When chasing worldly accolades stems from feeling. Okay. What I mean by that, and I'm gonna talk about my own experience when I speak about that as well. So cool. For me, at least, when it came to chasing worldly accolades, I used to, even though it was never heavy, there was a couple of things I chased. I used to chase money. I used to want to have money. That was last year. Last year was really my money phase, you know? Like at first I would kind of force it because I used to steal batteries, like low life shit. Like I used to just steal on the e-bikes. Like, I used to steal the batteries and then I used to sell them. Like that's what I used to do. Like, but then even that, it was just it was me. I was more me enjoying the stealing than the actual money part. But again, feeling that's feeling as well, though. Because when I was doing that shit, I was doing that to feel like I'm a bad man, to feel or let everyone know that I'm staying bikes. You know, again, the action took place, yes, but it comes down to feeling. Feeling was the accumulator of that. And then cool, when I started selling bikes, this is gonna be the annoying thing about it being a windy day to me. Let me remember what I was saying. Okay, fuck. Because you know what it was, like even setting up today, the ground was not cooperating at all. I think I might have to just, okay, cool, that seems okay. But yeah. And then after that I started selling bikes. That was my thing. And then even that, it came from a feeling of which I like the feeling of selling the bike. Like that moment when I sell the bike and I know that I bumped that person. I know that I bumped you because I've spent less on this bike than I'm selling it to you for, and you ain't got a clue, you know? That businessman high, you know, like that's the high that, what's his name? You know, what's that from that movie? Jordan Bedford from what's that movie called? Wolf of Wall Street. That sort of high. I was running on that sort of high. Cool. And then the girl's high. I like the feeling. I used to cheat my girl, but I like the feeling of cheating in the sense that she don't know that I'm cheating on her, and then I'm cheating. And I don't care about the girl. I don't care. I like the bad boy feeling that I would get from cheating on her, you know? And again, all of these shit, and even if you were to look at some of these criminals, you know, that made split decision, whatever, that got them in prison, you know? It all came down to feeling, you know? So it's not about, we must control our feelings. We must control, you know, too much. No, it's not about, it's about surrender. Understand that feeling is a part of ourselves, you know? And if we're not controlling certain things in our life in the sense that we're not doing the right things to give ourselves the space to have the awareness to understand exactly what our feelings are being, that's a nice word, what our feelings are being fed into, you know, then our feelings will be dismembered and then put into some shit that isn't good for us, that's going to keep us away from where we need to be, you know. And again, on this channel, I just want to make it clear on all my channels, this isn't some technique channel, this is an awareness channel, okay? Because again, for me, I don't have the if you come to me and you think I have techniques, I have no techniques. Because I will say that I'm doing something, and then 3 days later, I will just change that completely and I'll be doing something else. It's the awareness that is the key thing that I'm channeling into these channels and all my other channels. It's the awareness. Because it's the awareness that I have. It's an awareness of something which isn't me, and I know it's not me because I don't, you know. And this is something that I was thinking about making another video on, but I just want to just briefly talk about it in terms of, I was like, people don't know what they're talking about, you know. And I know that because I know me. Like a couple years ago, obviously I I was always born with some sort of wisdom, in the sense that I always knew there was something greater than myself that I wasn't aware of. You know, that was instant humility that I had throughout my life that I wasn't fully aware of, that allowed me to be where I am today, you know. But more to the sense, I was more thinking about, this is when I was earlier, I was just walking about. I was thinking, there was a time in my life where I didn't know what humility meant or humbleness meant. Because I remember asking myself, I would ask myself again and again and again and again and again, what does it mean to be humble, you know? And this was kind of like towards the beginning of my journey in the whole, is it gonna take it? It's definitely gonna take it down. Fucking hell. That is some win. Yo, but it's to this ground. But okay, am I gonna be too? I'm gonna be. But yeah, I was like, bro, I don't know what humility means. You know, I remember this was at the beginning of my journey on just actually understanding myself better. I realized how lost I've been throughout this whole point, because I used to delay the onset. Because I remember, like, I used to be in these group chats with my friends, and then they used to talk about oh yeah, you haven't got any morals, you haven't, like, just about that each other. It's just like, it's not real introspection or helpful. It was just ego, just going at ego, trying to use spiritual or whatever, like whatever you want to call it, philosophical, whatever, fam, using that as a weapon to measure egos, you know, like, oh, you're not moral, oh, you have no morals, oh, you have no morals. That was just the thing. I used to hate that shit. I used to hate it, because I knew, even though I knew that I was the worst out of everyone, if we're talking about on the moral scale, I knew that I was the worst, you know. I was aware of that. I was aware of how, because that was the thing. I could see how my friends really meant what they were saying when they would say, oh, you have no morals, you have no morals. They truly think like that battle is real that they're having. But I remember, because at this point in my life, this is when I was quite deep into the whole sense of me essentially openly selling my soul, in the sense that I no longer wanted to connect with anything good in my life, because I got kicked out of school, and that messed me up, man. That really did, because it put me in a dark place. I was in a dark place, and I didn't want to feel anything good, because I felt what it meant to really be alone when I first, like, instantly when I got kicked out of school, and I was very young at the time. So I felt like what it was. So I basically had what I have now, but with no direction, nothing. Just what I would see online times 10, you know, and that pulled me into a dark place, you know. And that's why I'm always a proponent of understanding social media and like, because again, like, let me make sure, if this is on topic, I'm going to talk about it. I mean, if this is on topic, I'm going to talk about it. Okay, we're talking about dopamine chasing. Okay, so we're gonna talk about, I'm always gonna find a way to talk about social media. Social media, like, even for myself, like, I've been thinking in this day, raw, even YouTube, like, obviously posting's cool because I'm making videos and then I'm not watching them. Well, sometimes I do watch my videos back, but I'm not actively, you know, it's not me actively consuming content, I'm making content, you know. So the making videos ain't gonna really go away, because again, it acts like a diary for myself anyways. But in terms of the consuming content, even though I've kind of meshed it down to one YouTube channel that I watch, which I've shared, Spiritual Resonance. This is that, if we're talking about the channel for me, that's the channel for me. It might not be the channel for you. Again, this isn't a channel of techniques or telling you to watch this or watch that. This is the channel where I just say what works for me. In terms of working for me, man, that's exactly what I need, all right? But then it's the sense of, like, when I'm on YouTube, I see other videos come up. Like, there's another guy, I forgot his name. You might know him. Like, he's just famous for, like, talking. He don't like religion. He's on the, like, right sort of lines, but his content is still so debating. Like, he likes to debate with other people, tries to ego measuring. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's not really that sense of actually him. It's less of him actually delving into what he believes in and what his understanding is, but him just kind of mashing everyone else's beliefs in, you know, which again is cool. Like, I've been there. Like, I've been in that position where because I don't have a belief for myself, I just mash everyone else's belief. I say, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, which is true, because anything dogmatic is wrong. You're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. It's kind of like the position that you're in when you don't believe anything, but then you still got the knowledge there where you know that these men are chatting shit. That it's not like you don't believe anything because nothing's fulfilling you. You don't believe anything because you know everyone's chatting shit. Like, I've been there, you know. So his content will kind of like, yeah, maybe I want to watch, but it's not good for me because that's not where I'm at in my life. I don't need to consume that. And then the debating, you know, that part of me rises up against something I've been trying to quash down. You know, it's being awareness. It's just the fact that I'm aware of it. I'm happy, so I know I need to cut down on just being on YouTube. Even though I only aim to watch one guy, I also understand that I'm viable to watch other people that I don't want to watch. You know, that's the issue there. But cool. Do I need to talk any more about dopamine? This is helpful. It's actually helpful to have these notes. So I can't lie. Look how what it actually brightens my face. These notes. Like, you would think I have a phone in my hand, but or like yo, bro. You'll think I have like some holy book that is just like radiated. You know what I mean? Dopamine chasing lives in all humans. Yeah, this is true. Externally chasing. I feel like when you come into this body, you know, instantly we're just conditioned to externally chase. We're conditioned to look past ourselves, you know. And I do think it starts in school, really. I can see that for myself because that's the earliest memories I have of myself and me actually beginning to externally chase things. Because I feel like when I was young, it was a bit more about me. The emotion was less, there was less, I kind of forgot the awareness that I had in the peace, you can say, because they always say babies are peaceful. That you forget that. I feel like the moment that consciousness wakes up, it wakes up to duality, okay? When consciousness is no longer being conscious in the sense of just being, when we're babies, we're just being, and then it wakes up to the duality of external life and external things. And I remember the earliest memory for me was my reception teacher. Actually, no, my earliest memory was when I saw there was a farm like near my house. Like, they just done it in the car park of my local church. And there was a pig. And I was just talking to the pig. I was just talking, like, obviously there's pictures of it which kind of makes me remember that, but I remember the doing it more than the pictures. Like, the pictures came after. Like, I saw the pictures after that, but I still remember that of just being there talking to the pig. But after that as well, my earliest memory is also, you know, just being completely in love with my reception teacher. You know, that was my thing. And I was also jealous because I remember, not jealous, but I was also jealous because she would give attention to other people. But I also remember when there was a toy airplane in school that everyone would play with, and I didn't like it because everyone would play with it, and I didn't want to play with it because there was no time for me to get a go. So I said, I don't want the airplane. I want to get my own airplane. I want to get the exact airplane but my own. But it wasn't the exact same. Like, it was different, but it's the same build. Like, it was a Playmobil. That's another memory I have. But yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. And you might have your own set of memories as well, but you will just notice some of your early memories is the first time consciousness gets shocked into duality, you know. And reception was that for me. I remember when I first got in trouble in my whole life in reception, I cried because we were laughing. We were like kind of bad. Like, we were laughing I don't know why we were laughing at her. I think we might have been laughing at her because she was just different. Like, there was a hijabi, like, old lady, like, teacher, whatever, that would walk us to the dining hall. And then I remember one of the, like, girls in my class that I kind of liked her as well, like, she was just laughing at her. So then we all started laughing at her. And then she went and told this teacher called Bev, who's like the big bad wolf teacher. Like, she's fair, strict, but very strict. So then she shouted at us and then I cried. So that's the first time I remember getting told off, you know? And like, these things, you know, like, obviously some people might not remember them, the first time they done this, first time they done that. I don't remember the first time of everything, but the point that I'm trying to make is that there's these things that happen in the early stages of our life which creates that duality, and we just have to embrace that. It creates the conditioning, you know? Like, I can really trace back my behavior issues to the external world responding to me in a way I wasn't comfortable with, you know? And like, again, I feel like we're getting a bit sidetracked, but I still want to talk about this in the sense that I remember, you know, all of the times that I would get told off, yeah? It was actually, the one time that tipped the scales for me was one time where I wasn't doing anything wrong, but I was on a table where the other kids were doing stuff wrong, you know? And and then she shouted at me as well. That fucked me up. I don't forget that though. That's the thing. I took it personal. And I decided to say from then on, cool, all I'm going to get now is attention from these teachers, you know? I'm going to be the one shouting at you, crying at you. Because how can you shout and cry at me? You know how that makes me feel? I'm going to do it to you, you know? And then the next year, because the next year I got a teacher that I found really attractive, and then that was just, that's where the behavior issue started, because I just found out raw. Like, I remember it. Like, I remember I was misbehaving, and then, like, she let me, she held my hand. Like, she made me go to the front of the line, and then she let me hold her hand. Like, it was just over from that point, you know? But then again, like, these are, like, this, I can still feel the I don't want to call them consequences though, because that was my life. But I can feel the connection, you know? I can feel the branches that stems from, and the way it influences in my life. So the overlining point, before I go check my notes again, the overlining point I wanted to make is about, you know, understanding how the actions that we make kind of create that duality, in the sense that we need this external things. We need this external attention, you know? But just remember that there was a point when you were a baby that you don't really remember when that, you know, wasn't necessarily the most relevant thing, you know? And obviously the earliest memory that you would get of external is obviously from our parents, our mum, you know? That's the first one. But that's a different kind of it, because it's a more loving, you know? It's a natural, organic pull, you know, to the mother. It's a natural pull, you know? Because she's the one that gives you the milk. She's the one that keeps you alive. You know, it's organic. That's what we're looking for, organic, natural. You know, because it wasn't about, obviously, for some babies, if they're getting put, like nowadays, probably they're getting put in front of screens and stuff, so they're probably just getting fucked up. But if that's not there, all the kids gonna have in their early stages is just their mum. They're just thinking their mum. So it's just about that focus, you know. And then once the mum stops playing that role, in which, you know, then it becomes God, you know. We move away from the mother, and then we start walking with God as the one that's given us that holy milk. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying if you get what I'm saying, you know, like, that's the organic pull, the organic external, but it's not external, it's internal, it's internal though. That's the thing. The real external thing that we're looking for is all internal, and that's perfect, because that's exactly what the whole thing is. Only God can free us. What did I say? Oh shit, man, where's it going? Only God can free us. You know my spelling is the worst thing in the world. Only God can free us, and good lifestyle habits, from stimulation. And that only God can free us from stimulation, and then it's talking about internal shadow work. Cool. The underlying point of this video. Okay, only God can free us from the stimulation. That what we're looking for in these jobs, what we're looking for in these fucking whatever, these girls, whatever, blah blah blah, whatever it is, yeah. You have to understand that that's God that we're looking for, you know. But it's not God in the way that most people will say God. You know, it's not like, okay, God, give me money. It's not that. I can tell you how it's like for me, where I am right now. Okay, right now I would say I feel very alone. Okay, and I know why I feel alone. I feel alone because of the real deep connection which I'm longing for. I can't find with God yet, because I haven't really experienced it in this world, you know. And those are the conditions, okay? The conditions of experiencing God in this world truly is through experience, okay? I can't experience what I have now if I didn't go through the shit I went through before. Because all of the shit that I went through before, as I said, the spite stealing, whatever, the misbehavior, the me liking my teacher, whatever, blah, blah, blah. All of this is just a reflection of the duality. Like I said, it's the reflection of the duality of what God already has set for me for when it's time, and for what the world is kind of training me for now, you know? And me becoming more of aware of my position in that training sense, in the sense that I'm, you know, that God's training me for all these things, it becomes a bit harder, because I have to ask God for shit. I can't do, like, I'm in a position now where I can't do things anymore I can't use my brain to say, okay, I'm feel alone, I feel lonely. I'm going to go get this friend now. Or I'm going to go talk to this. I'm going to use my brain and I'm going to go talk to my friends that I'm not really connecting with, that I still feel alone with. And I'm going to pretend like I'm connecting with them. Okay? Like, even though I don't do that intentionally. Like, I don't really call them up and do that anymore. They kind of call me, I meet them, I go to look to make that connection, and that connection is not possible, and I just feel worse. You know, that's where I am with that. But I don't really, now, in these last couple of weeks, I've only been able to pray and just say to God, as humbly as I can, listen, point me towards where I need to go and what I need to do in order to achieve and be free from this feeling of aloneness that I had, because I'm aware of it, you know, because I truly never had the opportunity to deeply connect with someone on the topic of God. That's something I've not experienced. I've experienced having a deep connection through stealing. I've had a deep connection through fucking gaming. I've had a deep connection through football, but never God. I've never had that transmission between two people where they understand what I'm saying, I understand what they're saying, and we're both talking about God and just life and the things that we talk about in this channel. I've not experienced that in real life, you know, because I'm still new. I'm a newborn. As when Jesus says, you're born again, this shit like this is what it means. I'm a newborn. I'm a baby, you know. I'm a baby to this shit. That's the truth. Like, I'm a baby to understanding how much I never knew how much I really wanted to connect with someone about God until I knew. It's like, it's not this thing where it's just, that's what I'm saying though. Like, that's what it is for me, you know? And I'm sure it's like that for a lot of people. But what I want to say is that the best we can do is just leave it to God, you know, and continue to do the good lifestyle habits and the good stuff that you're doing, because God's watching. We have to remember that, you know. And he's not this intervening God that's gonna make it perfect for you, you know. He's just gonna point us, you know. He's gonna pull us. You know, when you're not getting pulled externally, this is what I talk about. If you really want to experience God, like, because I can say this from how I've grown in experiencing God in my own life, yeah, I can see the connection and lightening the baggage in my life, lightening the consumption, the stimulation, the external blah 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 blah, blah, whatever it is, friends, even family, really, anything, TV, whatever. By reducing that, and it doesn't matter how big you reduce it or how small you reduce it, by reducing that, by just reducing it over time, the way God works in your life becomes a bit more obvious, you know? The less stimulation there is, you know? And that's what I think God meant when he says the poor people are the ones that enter heaven. Because the poor people, the only thing that they're kind of focused on, or he says that the prostitutes as well. Jesus said that the prostitutes and shit like that, like tax collectors, they're the ones that are gonna, you know, be quicker to heaven than the Jews, or not the Jews. I don't know, call them Jews, the high priests, the know-it-alls. Yeah, that's what he meant. And let me wrap up with this message, because what I can interpret what Jesus meant by that is by those who are focused onto one thing and they know that they're wrong. For example, a prostitute is not going to be able to be convinced that most prostitutes are not going to, like, at least from what I'm just assuming, most prostitutes know what they're doing is kind of fucked. Like, they know that, you know. So all they have to do is be free from that, you know. All the addicts that know that they're fucked, they have a friend, he knows. Because obviously we smoke together, like, we know. Like, obviously I'm coming out a bit more, he might still be in it, but he knows just as much as me how bad weed is for him. So if he's able to free himself from weed through the grace of God, you know, the same way that God freed me, you know, you're already in a place of humility because you understand that what you're doing isn't correct, you know, what you're doing isn't right for you. That's all you need, that awareness to know that you're not sitting on this high horse, you know, that the high horse is all fake, even though it feels like you're on a high horse and everything is telling you that you're on a high horse. You know you're not on a high horse. And that awareness is it, man. That's all we can have. So again, that's why I say this channel is about awareness. This one's been good. Obviously, the notes helped me out a lot. Oh, there's berry. I'm not going to eat them, though. But yeah, thank you guys, and have a good day.